told your friend you're not okay.
Friends, before we begin, please take a breath. Because what you're about to hear today isn't just any news. It's something millions of people around the world have been waiting for years. Something that, even in their dreams, seems too good to be true. May 13th, 2026, is a date that will forever be etched in ARMY history worldwide. Not only because BTS finally set foot on California soil after a long, drama-filled and emotional journey from Mexico, but also because of one moment that happened that morning. One small moment involving Kim Taehyung that instantly lit up social media timelines and set millions of hearts beating wildly. But let's start from the beginning. Let's tell this story in its entirety, because every detail is too precious to pass up. That morning, May 12th, 2026, in a luxury hotel in the heart of Mexico City, the atmosphere was incredibly tense even before the sun was even high. BTS's entourage, 7 kings whose names were already legendary in every corner of the globe, were reportedly leaving the city under extremely tight security. And sure enough, not long after, the cameras of fans who had been on standby since the early hours of the morning began capturing images that made everyone stop breathing. A fleet of luxury Mercedes vehicles lined up neatly in front of the hotel lobby, clean and shiny, like an honor guard ready to escort the kings to their next throne. One by one, the members of BTS began to emerge from the hotel doors. RM, with his undisguised leadership aura even in casual attire. Jin, with his signature smile that could brighten anyone's day. Suga, calm yet always hiding the world behind his eyes. J-Hope, whose walk alone could bring positive energy to the atmosphere around him. Jimin, as graceful as ever even when not on stage. And Jungkook, who had the poise of a true star. And then Taehyung. Kim Taehyung appeared last, like the ending of a Korean drama that's been carefully crafted to hit the heartstrings. He wore a simple white hat, a dark, oversized jacket that fit loosely around his body, and sweatpants comfortable for air travel. At first glance, his appearance was no different from the other members. Casual, effortlessly stylish, and still looking like an icon even as he simply walked from the hotel door to his vehicle. But then, a fan's camera caught something. Something small, but it immediately sparked 1,000 questions. Taehyung was walking slightly differently than usual. His hand was clutching one side of his oversized jacket, as if he was guarding something inside, as if there was something he didn't want to be seen by any camera. The movement was subtle, almost undetectable, but in a world where every millimeter of an idol's movement is watched by millions of loving eyes, such a small thing was enough to shock the entire ARMY world in a matter of minutes. On the other hand, there were more reserved ARMYs, who tried to find a less alarming explanation. Maybe Taehyung was just carrying a new gadget he wanted to keep out of the spotlight, because we all know this guy is a serious camera enthusiast and photography enthusiast, and it's not uncommon for him to bring quite expensive camera equipment with him on his travels. Maybe he was just carrying a personal item. Maybe it was just his introverted personality seeking a little privacy amidst the constant crowd and scrutiny. And maybe, just maybe, it was a surprise for the Stanford fans that couldn't be revealed to anyone yet. The speculation swirled for hours, filling timelines from Seoul to Sao Paulo, from Jakarta to London, from Mumbai to Los Angeles. Taehyung's name was trending #1 on nearly every social media platform globally, not because of negativity, but because of the overwhelming love from millions of people who couldn't stop thinking about him. Meanwhile, at Stanford Stadium itself, preparations were reaching their final, most crucial stage. The state-of-the-art stage lights had been tested countless times, ensuring that every visual effect would deliver maximum impact. The sound engineering team was working non-stop, checking and rechecking every speaker and audio system scattered throughout the iconic stadium. The thumping bass from the sound check could already be heard from outside the stadium, sending shivers through anyone passing nearby, a mixture of anticipation and awe, a feeling that something extraordinary was about to happen. The choreography team was also on site, coordinating directly with the members of BTS, who, despite having just stepped off the plane after a long flight from Mexico, hadn't opted to rest immediately. They went straight into preparation mode, coordinating, checking every detail, ensuring that every element of the show they were about to present to thousands of armies at Stanford Stadium was perfect. Because that's BTS. Because that's what makes them not just stars, but legends. And while all the technical preparations were taking place inside the stadium, outside, waves of army continued to arrive from all directions. They arrived with giant banners crafted with love and creativity, filling the streets leading to the stadium with an intoxicating purple. Special fan projects had already decorated strategic corners around Stanford, welcoming the kings of K-pop in the most beautiful way imaginable. Some carried army bomb playing card light sticks. Others wore concert attire complete with makeup inspired by BTS's different album eras. And among the crowd, almost everyone held one thing in their hearts: the hope that all 7 members of BTS would stand together on that stage healthy, happy, and full of energy. Because this is what makes this 2026 post-military reunion tour so different from any tour that has come before. It's not just about the music, though the music is always incredible. It's not just about the choreography, though the choreography is always stunning. This is about a moment of reunion, about 7 people who have endured the most difficult times of their lives, who have endured unbearable longing, who have endured separation with the most maturity and dignity, and now stand together on stage as one unified whole. Every second of this concert will be historic. Every song they sing will feel like a love letter sent across time. Every time their eyes meet on stage, there will be a story unspoken but felt by everyone in attendance. Back to Taehyung, because of course, we can't leave the mystery of that morning unsolved. As reports of BTS's landing at Stanford began pouring in, armies who were following the situation live reported that Taehyung was walking normally, with a light step and the characteristic energy of a man eagerly anticipating this new chapter in his long-awaited journey. There were no signs of serious injury, no expressions of pain. All that was left was Taehyung with his unfakeable smile, a smile that reached his eyes, a smile that had become one of the most beautiful sights in the world for the millions who loved him. The anxiety that had been hanging in the air slowly began to ease, replaced by a sense of relief that felt like exhaling a long breath after holding it for too long. Stay tuned to this channel for the latest updates from every night of the concert, set lists, on-stage moments, photos and videos that will make you cry with joy. We will be here, accompanying BTS on this magical journey in Stanford, California, from start to finish. Because this isn't just a concert, this is history in the making. And all of us, armies around the world, are witnesses. For our army, we've waited long enough. Now it's time to celebrate the return of the kings to the world stage.
I know you told your